welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing a just quick rundown on some of the contouring products that I use from the drugstore. I am a fair girl. Things tend to get muddy and orange on me very fast. So, you know, the whole learning how to contour, the process has been definitely a process for me. But I just wanted to share with you some of the products that I use that I really enjoy and that are all under $10. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. By the way, I just did a tutorial for this very like neutral look using the Comfort Zone palette, so I'll link that down below. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so my favorite contouring powder of all time is Sculpt from MAC. This is their sculpting powder in Sculpt. This is the Maleficent collection. This powder is great. The texture is amazing, and it is a really cool toned brown. It's nice. I love the way it feels on my cheeks, and it doesn't make me look too orange, which a lot of things can very easily go very orange on me, which is something I have to be careful of. So I'm just going to put that swatch there just so you can kind of compare, because this is about $30. I think I paid $27.50 for this, and all of these powders that I'm going to be showing you are under $10. First thing I want to talk about are, you can only get at Walmart right now, and these are the new Wet n Wild Color Icon contouring palettes in Dulce de Leche and Caramel Toffee. Now, Dulce de Leche is a little bit more of the yellow tone. I'm actually wearing this one today. These powders feel really nice. They're soft. The texture is really beautiful on these, and they're nice because they're not too overly pigmented. So these are great for beginners, and they're not overly dark. If you are a medium to dark skin tone, you're not going to be able to use these, but again, if you are pale like I am, these are going to be really nice. And I just have a little bit on today, and I'm not a big crazy contour. I want something that looks natural, and these powders definitely do this. This is the one from Dulce de Leche, which is a little bit more on the yellow side. You can see it's not as pigmented as the Sculpt, but it's a little bit more cool toned. But this is something that, this is a powder that does build up beautifully on the skin. And again, I was going for something really natural today, which is why I used this one. Now, Caramel Toffee is a little bit more of a pink toned powder, if I can show you in comparison. This is Dulce de Leche, this is Caramel Toffee. So Caramel Toffee is a little bit darker and a little bit more on the pink tone side. This one is probably my favorite of the two. And again, the texture on these powders is really pretty. It's soft, it's got a wonderful texture, and it's not too overly pigmented. So again, if you're a beginner, this is going to be a great powder for you. So again, it does build up, it's a little bit deeper than the Dulce de Leche, but it's also a little bit, I find it to be a little bit cooler toned on the skin. And again, I really enjoy that powder. And both of these are either $4.99 or $5.99 depending on where your Walmart is. So again, a great, and you get a lot of product in here. You get 13 grams of product, so that is quite a bit of product for $5. Another powder that I have just used this for years on my brows, and I was looking at the powder and I was like, oh, I bet that'd be really pretty as a contour, and I have used this in a couple of tutorials. And this is a product I never hear anybody talk about, and this is Ultra Brow from Maybelline. This is a brush on powder color. This one is in light brown. Now, I have used this powder for years and years on my brow, and I really like this powder. It is lighter, it's a little bit cooler, it is slightly cooler than Sculpt. So it's going to be right around that the Caramel Toffee tone. It is pigmented, it's not quite as soft, and it's not quite as blendable as these, but this is a great contouring color. And again, it's, nobody ever talks about it. I like it for my brows as well. I'll just change it back and forth, and it is a nice, beautiful, cool toned brown, and it's just great. I love it. And I just, like I said, I've just recently started using this as a contour, and I really do like the effect on the skin. And this little product is, I believe, $4.47 at my Walmart. So that is the Maybelline Ultra Brow and Light. All right, the next powder I want to talk about is from e.l.f. Now, this is one of their $3 bronzers, and I just love the packaging on e.l.f. products. I just think it's so sleek and nice. But anyway, you get a nice mirror in this one. And with this one, this is their cool tone bronzer. Now, they have two of them. They have a warm tone and a cool tone. And you can use each of these shades individually if you'd like. I obviously swirl them all together. And again, I stayed away from the warm one just because things can go orangey on me so fast. But when you mix them all together, I don't know if you can see that, this is such a beautiful, this is probably the closest one, or this is probably really close to Sculpt as well. This one is really close to Sculpt. So this is the Cool Tone Bronzer right here, and this is Sculpt. So again, they're all in this range. And then I like to pick up a little bit extra of this deeper brown there, and I'll go over it just to cool it down just a little bit. This again is really blendable. It's really versatile because you have all these different shades, and I just really like it. And for a $3 product, again, you're getting a whole bunch of product. So this is also a great contouring option if you are lighter skinned. The last one I want to talk about is one of the new NYX HD blushes, and this one is in Taupe. This is probably my favorite out of the drugstore. This is it's like a straight up gray brown. This is going to be the most gray out of all of these, the most cool toned out of all of these, and this is a $6 product. The product itself feels nice. It's not powdery. It just feels beautiful. It's very blendable on the skin. And it's just a great little product. I mean, you just can't beat that. It's perfect. It really creates a true shadow illusion on the skin, and to help define and sculpt your cheeks and your face and everything else, which is why we contour in the first place. So again, NYX Blush in Taupe is awesome. I just have one more product that I want to share with you because I know a lot of people really enjoy a cream contour. I'm not one of them. I will do it if I'm doing a full face glam makeup. For the most part, I like powder products on my face. But what I will do for that is, and I like this because it is completely customizable without having to go out and buy a palette with a bunch of different contour shades that you're not going to use. But I like the Fit Me Shine Free foundation sticks. Now, people do not like these foundations. I mean, they've been pretty much panned universally on YouTube from what I've seen. But I will say this for them. When you use a mattifying foundation and use a beauty blender to contour and then blend it out, you know, put this on and use a beauty blender to blend it out, over a mattifying foundation, these create beautiful, beautiful contours in the skin. Very dramatic, and they're only $8 or $9. You know, I don't personally like this foundation by itself. It doesn't last, it breaks down, but when I use it over a mattifying foundation, it really creates a beautiful cream contour to the skin that lasts. So if you are looking for a cream contour, this is just a wonderful option. Plus, the thing I like about the Fit Me foundation sticks is that there's a whole range of shades. They have an amazing shade range just for that foundation line in general, period. So, you know, it's one of those ones where you're not going to have to go and worry about picking up a cream contour in the drugstore that might be too orange or too dark, and there's only a couple of shades. This one you have a ton of options. So if you are a cream contour girl, so definitely try that out. These are just the contouring powders that I use that I like from the drugstore that are under $10 because I don't own any contouring palettes, and the reason being is that I can't use 95% of them. They either go muddy on my skin, or they're too dark, or they go orange, and these are the powders that I can use, that I switch out, that work for me. Plus they're under $10. I don't personally see the point in buying a contour palette where I can't use most of the product. So it just doesn't work for me personally, and if that's your thing, that is totally cool. I'm a little jealous of you. But if you are a pale girl like me, if you're on a budget, if you're just looking for something a little bit more practical for you than a big palette where you can't use all of that stuff, then these might work out for you. So, and I'll list them all down below. But you know, if you have any powders that you love, you know, any contouring products, let me know down below, especially if they're from the drugstore, because you know, who doesn't love cheap, affordable makeup from the drugstore? Nobody, right? So anyway, but as always, if you guys did like it, then give me a thumbs up. You know, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe if you want some more videos like this. But as always, you guys have an amazing day, a rockin' week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.